pollution, and climate. In Los Angeles and across America, people of color are suffering and dying from disproportionate health impacts on a planet that has less than 10 years to prevent irreversible damage. Heat illnesses, respiratory illnesses, water-related illnesses, food system impacts, insect-related diseases, black maternal health, and mental health effects. As the impacts of climate change mount, millions of vulnerable people, our people, are going to bear the brunt of these extreme environmental events, which will likely lead to forced displacement, loss of cultural identity, and other related risks. These realities are as real as rain. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details about the most progressive multimedia and live events campaign any black media outlet has ever undertaken to combat the climate catastrophe. Experts, events, empowerment. It's all on the way from unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We don't black down. We level up.
Level up, 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 level up.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss it. There's something wrong with that.
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is Psych Hacks, Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic of today's short talk is Women Are Making Society Polygamous. Now, this is obviously a very provocative title, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it isn't true. And I hope to back it up with some evidence and arguments in this episode. I will say at the outset that I don't think this movement is intentional. That is, I don't think that women are consciously attempting to accomplish this purpose. This is an epiphenomenon that emerges out of the data en masse, kind of like how a wave emerges out of the movements of individual particles, none of which are particularly wave-like. None of the molecules has any awareness that it is contributing to the wave, but the wave arises out of the molecules nonetheless. This is the mystery surrounding individuals and populations. The two are obviously connected, but it's impossible to see how unless you take a wide enough vantage. And of course, before I lay out my arguments, please be sure to like this episode and subscribe to this channel. It takes less than a second, costs you nothing, and it's also a way for you to be a part of something much larger than yourself. So, do the thing. Now, to understand why this is happening, why women are making society polygamous, you have to first understand that women today are absolutely crushing it. While there was a gender gap that clearly favored men 50 years ago, we now have a gender gap that clearly favors women. And in many domains, the size of this gender gap is larger than the size of the gender gap that we had a half century ago. Probably for the first time in human history, in most Western societies, childless women under 30 are earning more than childless men under 30. Women are graduating from high school, from college, from postgraduate institutions at a significantly higher rate than men. In fact, at a nearly 2-to-1 ratio. They are doing very well, so hooray women. That said, all this success does come with an unintended consequence with respect to the dating market. And before the women complain, well, who cares about dating? Let me just say that you should care about dating because unless you want to go back to your father choosing your husband for you, this is pretty much the only pathway to long-term relationships, marriage, and children, which are things I often hear women caring about. So problems with dating will have important downstream consequences. So what is the unintended consequence? In order to understand it, you first have to appreciate that women tend to date hypergamously. For those of you who have never heard this term before, hypergamy is the tendency to date across and up status hierarchies. To put it simply, women want a man who is at least as good as her, if not better. And better, of course, is how women choose to define it, because it's for the cat to decide which milk is good. However, with respect to some very obvious metrics, women tend to marry men who are older, taller, stronger, higher status, and higher earning. And here's the rub. If women are outperforming most men, and women continue to date hypergamously, then voila. You have an increasingly shrinking pool of men that the majority of women would even consider as candidates for dating and mating. And that's bad for women, because fewer eligible men significantly increases the intra-sex competition for a dwindling pool of potential mates. And it's also bad for most men, because most men are just flat out being disqualified from the sexual marketplace.
And guess what? I'm one of those special rare ones. You better not have a problem with me. Hey, the voice of reason is back in the building. Lord have mercy, tonight's topic. This is a heavy topic, man. We deep. If you're just getting in here, woo. We talk about plantation relationships. We're talking about the implied, this implied ownership that comes with monogamy. We're talking about power dynamics in relationships. And ultimately, if I got more power than you, if a man has more power, if a woman has more power, she's using you for something, he's using you for something, that makes you chattel. You're a fetish, a tool to be used. Oh, this is a heavy topic. We have none other than one of our great recurring guests on this show, Delana Zimmerman, LMFT. It's amazing. Listen, in the realm of monogamous relationship, there exists a subtle yet powerful dynamic that often goes unnoticed. The concept that we presented tonight is called relationship chattel, where your partner views you as their property, an ornament, an accoutrement, a trophy, like a trophy wife, to be put on the mantle of his accomplishments, or her accomplishments for that matter. On tonight's show, we aim to explore the intricate dynamics of plantation relationships where the assumption of ownership can hinder personal growth, autonomy, and equality. This is a big piece. By delving into the complexities of this concept tonight, we're going to try to uncover ways to challenge and disrupt these assumptions, and we're going to try to foster ideas around healthier and more fulfilling connections. But this is the world we live in today, and this is what a lot of people are doing, and we wanted to cover it tonight. We got callers on the line. Delana, you were saying that women are now trying to date their fathers? Can you go deeper into that concept before we run to the phone lines?
Sure. Is my mic on?
Yes.
Sure. Women are becoming, I would call it pseudo-daughters, where they want to be completely taken care of. Part of the reason is they don't know what it is to have been taken care of emotionally, security. They lack security within themselves. So they're just pretty, and they want you to buy and provide everything for them. And what's the exchange? Pretty and sex. And hopefully the sex is good enough to keep the relationship going.
Are you implying that a lot of women don't come to the table with value?
Well, they have value. They just don't know what it is.
Ooh, talk to me.
Everyone has value, and that's part of the issue. That's really what the mental mental health issue is in America, as I see it, is that people don't know their value. And so it's men also are coming to the table, because what you just talked about in the insert, what came in first is that women are doing very well in America. So they are finding themselves needing to date down, and there are men who are raised by their mothers are looking for women to take care of them.
Mama.
And what they have to provide is pleasure. So everybody is trying to provide pleasure in a relationship in exchange for ownership. You can own me. I give you pleasure. You provide for me. And it has become chattel, and it's reversed. And what the speaker talked about was this is a result of a shift in how dynamics are socially and economically in this country. But it's everywhere. But if I don't know my personal value, then I may not have a standard for relationships. And so you can possess me and own me if you just keep me.
Ooh.
Don't let me go. That's why I'm Botoxed out. Please, I'm trying to hold on to this look, because this is what you bought.
We on fire tonight. Let's get some callers in here. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know if y'all understand the depth of the information that's flowing tonight, but I hope it is inspiring you to want to get to your phone lines and join this national conversation. I'm waiting to hear from Nikki from Mississippi. We got to get Nick from the SIP up in here. Leroy from Inglewood. What up, South Central? You in the building? Talk to me, Inglewood.
Can you hear me clearly? Can you hear me clearly?
We got you, brother. Talk to me. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Model Tep, I just want to say, first of all, Dr. Delana Zimmerman,
hey,
the priestess of former years, the only smart person in the 10% of smart people in the village, Dr. Delana Zimmerman, sounding like a Thomas Parham, priestess Thomas Parham tonight. Okay, back in previous times, everybody wasn't as educated. They wasn't going into as many details as you're going into now. They didn't need to be as smart. The culture was more supportive of marriage, right? People had no, they might have went through the said gurus in engineering in their rites of passage, all right? The family, social support system, extended family was there. They weren't where we are now. I want to know, what systems that currently exist, whether they're in the Western world or outside the Western world, are closest to healthy for promoting healthy long-term marriages? And if that's too tough, what 7 or 9 or 11 ingredients are essential to any curricula that's used in an institutional setting that would promote healthy long-term marriages? I think you get the gist of what I said. If you don't get it exactly what I said, I'm going to hang up, and I just want to just continue to just listen to the glow of your wisdom. Zoe, you done it again. Look, I love the fact how you purposely go out of your way to get women who have a balanced perspective, are intelligent, and can stand on their own. I appreciate you greatly, brother, because you really do us a great service with what you do. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, brother. You brought Inglewood in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. Do you have answers for his question?
It was a very complex question, but what came up for me was that we actually need a new definition of love. I think that is the institution that has failed us, is that love has been considered a feeling, that feeling you get. But love is a lifestyle. It's your life force. And I think if we begin to change what our idea, what our definition of love is, then we'll have healthier relationships. But self-love is one of the 7 ingredients that you asked about. It has to be on the table. If I don't love myself, and I'm not talking about self-care, fingernails, hairdos, and car washes, I'm talking about self-love, where I spend time with myself. I'm hugging myself. I'm honoring the self that lives within me. And so I bring a balanced version of myself when I leave the bathroom. So when I'm interacting with people that I care about, I'm careful with them. So there needs to be care. There needs to be recognition. There needs to be respect. There needs to be trust. There needs to be open and honest communication.
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness is on my paper, my pink pad of paper. Self-forgiveness, forgiveness of others. There needs to be humanity, humanizing each other, honoring everyone's journey. You don't know what people came to the planet to do. So why are you pretending to know what everybody's actions should be in relationship with them?
And have a definition and a judgment for it.
You better move out the way.
You better get out the way of this purpose.
You came into my life to stretch me in a way that I needed to be stretched to deliver the purpose of my incarnation. So let's just honor that in each other. That's what makes relationships, I think, long-term relationships whole and complete.
You cannot be in an aquarium that is filled with urine and not get some in your mouth. The great Krishnamurti said it a little differently. He said, it is no measure of health to be fully integrated into a sick society. So society gives you relational game rules, and now we all gaming each other.
That's right.
We all playing a game because we want advantage in the game. This is why some partners in a relationship are reduced to chattel.
That's right.
This is why we don't know how to be in a relationship with a human being. This is why we have disrespected the word love and God and forgiveness, because we all got some kind of weird definition that is tainted by the toxicity of the society in which we live. You hit it right on the head. We got a misconception of love, just like we got a misconception of God.
That's right.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because these things are very difficult to attain. And when you live in a society that's based on technological convenience, hey, listen, I went to school, I paid the cost to be the boss. I deserve to have what I want. Well, guess what? Sometimes you got to mine for love. Uh-oh.
Hold up.
Go ahead, get in there.
Well, we don't know what we are. We don't know what we are. We don't understand that there's a developmental stage of human beings. Psychosocial development. The first developmental stage is trust versus mistrust. And so if trust is lost in the crib.
In the crib?
In the crib before you had language. You wonder why you got trust issues by the time you get 25 or 21. You're already underdeveloped psychosocially. My car. That's what a toddler says. Mine. And we haven't evolved from toddlership.
Oh, let's go deeper. My hurt supersedes your hurt because you facilitated my hurt. So now, you know how T.D. Jakes said it. If you hurt somebody, don't think the person who hurt you or the person you hurt, don't think you're off the hook. Because guilt hits the person if they give a damn about you. So they're not off the hook for hurting you, and you're not off the hook for hurting them. That hurt is reciprocal.
That's right.
See, they don't understand that. But my hurt trumps yours because you're the perpetrator of my hurt. Talk to me.
Well, I live in self-pity. That I hurt begins to be the identity. There's debts and credits in the relationship, and now you owe me more than I owe you. It's insanity.
Hold on. When we come forward, Lord have mercy. It's too much fire in the voice of reason. Somebody's house is on fire right now. Call the fire department. When we come forward, more heat from Lamert Park.
We hope you have a safe and relaxing holiday season.
Mask up and stay safe.
At KBLA Talk 1580,
We've got a lot to talk about.
and your voice is critical to all the conversation. Happy holidays. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, Maisha Cairo here, KBLA, live at Chase Bank on Crenshaw and Vernon for the In This Together tour with female business owners, a day of empowerment, community panels, and best of all, tips on building business from marketing to capital. I'm here with Lisa Stevens, Senior Business Consultant with Chase for Business. Lisa, what's one tip you'd give to business owners here in the Crenshaw area?
I love that you asked that question. I'm originally from Brooklyn, and I grew up in an area that's very similar to Crenshaw. So this is near and dear to my heart. And if I could only leave a business owner with just one, I would tell the business owner to identify their why. And I think that is so important because your why is going to be that strength on those days where you feel like you're struggling. Your why is going to be that stepping stone. Those days that you want to give up, your why is going to be the reason that you get back up.
And how would you advise business owners looking to acquire capital? What do they need to know before stepping inside the branch to ask for funding?
So 3 things. I do want to share this when it comes to the power of capital and just finding those resources. Understand that capital is a 3-part of a business, right? It's not always about the monetary piece, but if you first put that intellectual, right? What do I need to know? That social, who I need to know, that will help you to then package for that monetary piece. So no matter who you're banking with, you should know your banker. Never walk into a bank and you're transactional only.
It's just like Lisa to drop gems. I'm Maisha Cairo in the community for KBLA with JP Morgan Chase.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions because we've got your black. Listen up. If you're one of the more than 100,000 California tenants who were rejected or delayed when applying for COVID rental assistance, you've got a second chance. Under the terms of a new settlement, California's Housing and Community Development Department agreed to audit its past denials. The program ended in March 2022, but the advocacy groups Alliance of Californians for Community Empowerment, Policy Link, and Strategic Actions for a Just Economy sued the department. According to the coalition's analysis of state data, the department rejected nearly 30% of all applicants. Under the settlement, the department agreed to clear all renters in the pipeline within 6 months. The settlement applies to anyone who sought assistance from the state's Housing is Key program before April 1st, 2022, whose applications is pending or was denied after June 6, 2022. Tenants who have questions about the status of their application can call the hotline at 833-430-2122. That's 833-430-2122. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Uh-oh.
Looking in my mirror took me by surprise. I can't help but see you running often through my mind, helpless like a baby, sensual disguise. I can't help but love you. It's getting better all the time. I can't help it. If I wanted to, I wouldn't help it. Even if I could, I can't help it. If I wanted to, I wouldn't help it. No, I can't help it. If I wanted to,
My playlist is my co-host Michael versus Prince tonight. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna go ahead and get this one to Mike. I ain't even heard the Prince record yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and give this one to Mike, cause Stevie Wonder wrote it, Michael sang it, and Quincy produced it. Okay, that's the Holy Trinity right there. Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason is on fire tonight. Let me get I got to get a caller in here. Who's been on the longest? Because tonight's topic is so rich, man. I love twisting the knobs on these topics, man. Let me get the person who's been in here the longest. That's Sean from Oakland, California. Sean, get in here. Bring Oakland into the building. What are your thoughts?
Well, hey, brother, what a wonderful show. So, relationships, as you know, and this show is all about, are the most important thing you can ever do in your life, and they're the most difficult things to navigate. So my thing, what I'm trying to say here is, role model, but not cliche, right? Because you just be a role model. Tell these kids what to do. Tell everyone what to do. Be a role model. No. You be a role model. And you talk and you communicate, how these things should happen, meaning that you don't want a bunch of negativity in your household. You don't want a bunch of negativity in your space. And I know that sounds cliche too, but I'll tell you what, it's worked in my lifetime, married 30 plus years and all that stuff. I'm not saying that's the answer, but what I'm saying is it's better that when you be a role model, in the sense that when you have these difficult situations, and they're very difficult, I mean, I can give you the most difficult situations, but that you are the one that everyone's looking at. Everyone's looking at you. So everyone's looking at you as the woman or as a man. And if you're being a good role model, meaning, look, I can handle anything. I can handle anything. I have thick skin. I am not going to fold. I am not going to melt down. That's so important when your kids or other people are watching you. Just be strong in that way, right? Because we're all going to have crisis to deal with. Right. We're all going to have bad things to deal with. But make sure that when everyone turns their head towards you, you are the cool and calm person in the building.
I love it, Sean. Guess what you just did?
Oh, I hope I brought Oakland in the building.
Town business is in the building. We appreciate the call. If you want to bring your city in the building, you know what you got to do. I want to bring in Truemonger right now because right behind him we got Nick from the SIP. Truemonger, Dallas, Texas. Get in here, and I may have to carry you over because I already know you're going to be cooking. Truemonger, get in. What are your thoughts?
Oh, man. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm hanging in there, brother.
Good evening, Doc. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Good to hear from you.
Good to hear. Good to see. Have you back on the show too. This is tough, man, because a lot of people are just conditioned with this. You think that's how it's supposed to be. Like your wife or your woman belongs to you, and vice versa. I'm like, I've never been comfortable with that, especially when you put it in terms of comparing it to chattel slavery. Yeah, that may if anybody has any sense, you wouldn't want nothing to do with that.
But true, let me give you this. The reason why I'm comparing it to chattel slavery, can you imagine being bound matrimonially, energetically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally to someone who refused to deal with themselves? Who refuse. That's like a slave master. You are a slave to them, ignoring what they have to do, what they're supposed to do in this relationship. Man, that's heavy. Listen, hold tight with me, True, because I know you got more to cook with. When we come forward, we're going back to Dallas, Texas. Truemonger on fire.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. The Lee County NAACP in Florida is speaking out against a deadly police-involved shooting earlier this month. The organization filed a civil rights complaint saying a black man was wrongfully shot and killed by a Fort Myers officer at his home on December 1st. Police say the sister of 57-year-old Christopher Jordan called 911, telling them her brother was threatening her with a gun. While trying to get Jordan out of the home, an officer reportedly shot and killed him through a window. The NAACP wants the officer to resign and a federal investigation into what happened. Oprah Winfrey's portrait is on display at the Smithsonian National Portrait Gallery in Washington, D.C. Chicago-based artist Sean Michael Warren painted the full-length artwork. She's shown wearing a floor-length purple gown and holding an olive branch on her estate in Montecito, California. The iconic talk show host attended the unveiling ceremony in the museum's courtyard. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Nearly 3,000 teen drivers die in car crashes each year. Tire Rack Street Survival is designed to save lives. The one-day hands-on driving school gives teens experience in car control through exercises that include emergency braking and skid recovery. Find a class near you at TireRack.com/survive.
Environmental justice, pollution, and climate. In Los Angeles and across America, people of color are suffering and dying from disproportionate health impacts on a planet that has less than 10 years to prevent irreversible damage. Heat illnesses, respiratory illnesses, water-related illnesses, food system impacts, insect-related diseases, black maternal health, and mental health effects. As the impacts of climate change mount, millions of vulnerable people, our people, are going to bear the brunt of these extreme environmental events, which will likely lead to forced displacement, loss of cultural identity, and other related risks. These realities are as real as rain. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details about the most progressive multimedia and live events campaign any black media outlet has ever undertaken to combat the climate catastrophe. Experts, events, empowerment. It's all on the way from unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We don't black down. We level up.
Level up, 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 level up.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
Meet LA's most affordable health plan. This open enrollment season, LA Care Covered is proud to offer the lowest cost health plans in Los Angeles County, featuring zero cost preventive services to help you achieve your wellness goals. Be part of the region's largest HMO network, featuring UCLA Health, Optum, and allied physicians without breaking the bank. We are here to help. Call us at 855-222-4239 for enrollment assistance. That's 855-222-4239. LA Care Covered. Your wellness, our mission.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Every child deserves the best teachers, facilities, and academic programs to set them up for success. At Milton Hershey School in Hershey, Pennsylvania, we make that a reality for children from qualifying families who are looking for greater opportunities. Milton Hershey School enrolls students from pre-K through 12th grade from across the United States to live and learn on a beautiful state-of-the-art campus with all costs covered. Are you looking to set your child up for success or know a child who could benefit from Milton Hershey School? Learn more at mhskids.org/admissions.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chuchas opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chuchas Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm calling you up, I'm calling you up. 'Cause I need a love doctor, and I need it right away. I'm calling you up, I'm calling you up. 'Cause I need to hear the doctor's voice of reason.
Yo, so I got this two-timing chick who got her revenge from when I was on my two-time tip. And even when I tried to correct it, she couldn't get past how she was disrespected, neglected my effort, a pair with no trust, dirty games and affairs that been tearing us up. If things ain't picture perfect, is it really worth it? I have an idea, but I need to know for certain.
I'm calling you up, I'm calling you up. 'Cause I need a love doctor, and I need it right away. I'm calling you up, I'm calling you up. 'Cause I need to hear the doctor's voice of
I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is PsychHacks, Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic of today's short talk is, who has more power in a relationship? Power can be a touchy subject for folks. Many people would prefer it didn't exist at all, which is just another way of wishing that power imbalances didn't exist in relationships. However, power is a fact of life, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, as without power, nothing would ever get done. Now, it would be far too simplistic to argue that men have more power in relationships or that women have more power in relationships, because the fact of the matter is that it can go either way, and that's because it really depends on the specific individuals involved. However, I have 3 easy rules of thumb that you can use to determine who has more power in any given relationship. Let's get right to it. First, a working definition of power. Very simply, power is the ability to get other people to act in the service of your goals. Think about it. The most powerful people in the world do nothing for themselves. They have cooks to cook for them, bodyguards to protect them, agents to represent them, employees to work for them. They have the ability to make other people move. That's power. So here's my first rule of thumb. If you want to know who has the most power in a relationship or family system, all you have to do is observe who moves the least. For instance, in many families, the infant is the most powerful person in the system. You can't reason with it. You can't argue with it. You can barely even communicate with it. It just lies there and cries. So everyone else has to move to accommodate it. It is pure emotion, and emotion is a form of power. In fact, being so emotional that you can neither be consoled or reasoned with is a strategy that many adults today have failed to outgrow. But we shouldn't necessarily be surprised by that, since no one surrenders power unless they absolutely have to. In any case, the person who does less is usually more powerful than the person who does more. But before I go any further, if you're liking what you're hearing, please consider sending this video to...
Oh my God. Whose relationship did he just describe? 1-800-920-1580. Let's get True Monger back in here. True Monger, please, man, give us your thought on this.
Oh boy. He was probably describing his own, trying to put it off on other people.
Right. That could be the case too.
Like I was saying before, the whole construct of monogamy, you belong to me and I belong to you. Like, man, at the end of the day, we all here on a lease. We're all here on borrowed time.
Mm-hmm.
So can we really say that we really own anybody?
Mm-hmm.
Should you even want to say that? In my opinion, no.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we're together, if we're a team, and we rocking, good. But I don't hold nobody against their will. I don't want nobody around me that don't want to be there. And I'm not going to hold you.
That's right.
But, people going by what they were taught. They're going by the constructs they were taught, what they were indoctrinated with, what society tells them what they should do. I'm like, I've always gone against the grain when it comes to that, because if I don't get if I get a bad vibe about it, I tend to stay away from it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what you think traditional, how traditional you think it is. Most traditions are based off of horrible acts,
mm-hmm. or
have something horrible that tied into it.
Mm-hmm.
But people want to carry it on like it's all good. I'm like, no, you really need to look deeper.
That's
Need
right.
to dig deeper. And the people that even put these ideas in everybody's head, most of them don't even live by that.
Right.
So they just sold you something.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
He
Right.
said soldiers of it.
Soldiers of it. Yes, that was heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, True, guess
I'm
what
really-
you just did,
Yes, sir.
man? Guess what you did?
Brought Dallas in the building.
Come on, Dallas, Texas. Dallas, man. Texas show up now. We get Houston, we get Dallas, we get Austin. They be in the building. Oh, but one of my favorites. Boy, this is going to go together like butter and cream of wheat. We got Dr. Delana Zimmerman, LMFT, in the building. And we're about to bring Nikki from the SIP. Both Nikki and Delana on the same. Oh, Lord, it's about to. Nikki, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic? Food for thought. Talk to us about what you gleaned.
Hello, Brother Zoe, and what's up, Doc?
Hey.
Fam, this has really been hard for me to call tonight. This thing sat on my chest like an elephant. I'm like, what is this topic? This is like fog in the swamp. I couldn't figure out why it was so heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked up and found a definition that helped me understand why it was so heavy to me. Chattel is considered essential elements of commerce and trade because it can be bought, sold, and exchanged. Now, you all know I come from that secure attachment place.
Mm-hmm.
So this concept of ownership relative to possession is difficult for the bull to understand over here. Bulls don't like tight spaces. If you examine them in nature, they have wide berths. So the concept of being owned, that's like a dark place to me.
Mm-hmm.
I come from Jesus Christ. I belong to him. So, the nature of a person who wants to own and possess someone who understands that I belong to Christ first, that won't work. that's a dark, not cool concept, which is why it's so heavy. If we as human beings are in that space where we have to consider each other possessions, we got to go back to heal the womb wounds. We have removed ourselves so far from whoever your source is, and then came through the womb into the world to be damaged on multiple planes. If we're talking about ownership, not to have a partner where we can be belong to each other in the sense that we are a part of a whole, but to be owned and possessed and controlled by, that's not a relationship. That's a situationship.
Talk to us. Yes, talk to us.
Nothing in my spirit can understand that. That's just so foreign. Now, like young ladies who call their dude daddy, for example, I've never understood that, because when you say that to me, I realize it's because I had a dad.
How about it?
Well, I don't sleep with my dad. We not knocking boots. So why would I be calling my dude daddy? What is that? No. No. Daddy to me is like Abba Father. That's a Christ term. I don't do that with him. What? Wait a minute. We are misappropriating not just our physical selves, our spiritual and mental selves, if we are reduced to chattel.
That's right. Nikki, I have a question. They say that slavery wasn't just physical. It was mental. It was psychological. And many of us today still suffer from the psychological vestiges of that torment, of that torture. Would you say that we may have a portion of the chattel spirit still within us, especially as we walk into a relationship? Talk to me.
Absolutely, because it's a lot of people who are exercising freedom who are completely imprisoned every day, all day long.
Go ahead, Nikki.
The mentality, the stain that has been, this is why it is difficult to get people who have not been in bondage to understand why it is lasted for us so long. It is not just a physical place. When we are in mental bondage with spiritual bondage, we have all the entrapments, accoutrements for days. And yet, as a whole, we do not generally elevate our communities. Not them, us.
Ooh. Hold on, Nikki. Hold on. Wait. Stay with me, Nikki. When we come forward, Nikki and Delana gonna talk to each other. This is too good. We gotta have two voices on this one. When we come forward, the fire continues.
Here's to a holiday season full of peace, joy, and happiness. Happy Kwanzaa from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580.
Did you know there's a way to outsmart COVID if you get it? Now there are medicines that can treat COVID, whether or not you've been vaccinated, which is great news, especially if you're over 50. If taken in the first 5 days of having symptoms, COVID medicines can help stop the illness from getting serious. Call a healthcare provider or the statewide COVID hotline at 833-422-4255 to learn more about COVID medicines. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Diane from Michigan, a disabled senior citizen trying to get by. Henry from Florida, a veteran fighting to make ends meet. Elena from Arizona, a mother struggling to feed her daughter. Hi, I'm Connie Britton, and I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year, like Diane, Henry, and Elena. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
I'm Scarlett Johansson. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. You can join the movement to end hunger by donating, volunteering, and advocating. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/act now.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit lafla.org. lafla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I think MJ got this one too. I don't know. But this one, Jesus.
Would you remember?
Tell me all the things you forgot when I was your man. Come on.
Hey, when I was your man.
Okay, stop. Wait, hold on. What's the next mic record? Whoa. I can't help it, or... Jeez.
There'll be no darkness tonight.
Jesus.
Lady, your love will shine.
Boy, that's hot syrup right there. I don't know. Okay, stop it. What's the next Prince record? Okay, stop it. What's the next mic record? Oh, sleeper. Y'all not ready for this. This is a sleeper. Mike and Carlos Santana?
What?
If you don't knock it off. What?
He gives another smile. Try to understand her side to show that he cares. She can't stay in the room. She's consumed.
Jesus. Okay, what's the next one? All right, that's enough. All right, I'm sorry. The playlist is my co-host, but Jesus. Them two dudes is like Tommy Hearns and Marvin Hagler. Wait, what's the next mic? Oh, Jesus. Okay, what's the next Prince? Jesus. Scandalous. All right, that's enough. All right, let me get Nikki back in here. Whoa. Jeez. All right, Nikki from the SIP, please give us your final thought because you are cooking, and I want you and Delana to interact for the next few minutes really quickly because you were just saying so many powerful things. Jump back in here.
Well, I just think the topic is causing me to think about us from a societal perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like we're in spiritual dungeons and prisons, non-padded mental rooms that caused us to exist in relationship straitjackets. That's what it is.
Ooh. Yes. Delana, your thoughts on Nikki's breakdown? She killed.
Well, Nikki is correct.
Yes.
And Nikki, I am in front of it day in and day out. I am a therapist. Not only am I a therapist, I'm a Black therapist.
Yeah.
And so the issues are very common. They're generic. They're very specific to us in many, many cases. And that's why I came up with an affordable way for the nation to get a hold to the wisdom and the information Black women need to become a better version of themselves so that they can be healthier in relationships. I came up with a subscription for $29.99 a month to meet with me weekly. I have a video, I have a meditation, and I meet with you on Thursday on Zoom so we can talk about how your childhood traumas is manifesting in your relationships. See, people have a need to possess, and they also have a need to be possessed.
Ooh.
Because they weren't chosen. The Black woman was often not chosen in the family system. And she's desiring to choose and own and to be chosen as chattel.
Wow.
Take me, make me yours, use me. People, we're looking for saviors in the flesh.
Wow.
Isn't that the makeup? Isn't that what we were taught?
Yes.
Come and rescue me. It's a Disney virus. We are infected.
The Disney virus. Nikki, get in here.
And when you come, that's why it's so heavy for me. My family structure was so good. Great grandparents every day till I was 22. Every day.
Sean talked about it. What's modeled is what you become. But what you're talking about is an anomaly. It is not the norm. In America, where Black women are raising 70% of the families by themselves, there's an automatic imbalance.
That's correct. When you tell me that Black women have more degrees than any other sect, you also tell me that they have more debt too.
They have more debt, but they're also seeking outside of them outside of themselves stronger than everybody else to prove their value. Because the world, our world, does not value the Black woman.
Black woman.
So she is seeking to create her value.
Ooh, you can't create your value at the desk of the devil.
Not outside. It is never outside of yourself. Your value is inherent with incarnation. The fact that you incarnated, there's your value.
Ooh, Nikki.
That's why I said we had to go back to the womb and heal the womb wound and then come through.
The womb. Oh, that's our show tomorrow. That's Nikki. Thank you. That's our show tomorrow, Nikki. You just gave me my topic. Nikki, we're at the end of the show. Nikki, I love you. I love you. I love you. You brought the sip in the building. We started the conversation. It's up to you to finish it. Up next, you already know, my friend, your girl, my girl, RSVP with Jill Monroe. We on fire.
Understand. Did I love you?